Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is the second and final part to this series. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch part 1. I'll leave a link down in the description below, which you're going to need to watch first in order for this video to make sense. I'm sorry for leaving you guys hanging in the last video. I know we left off on breaking down the numbers, and at that point you might have been questioning where are the profits that you were talking about. Well, they're right here. The accident that happened during the last Turo trip, I ended up getting it fixed through the renter's insurance, which is actually the route that Turo recommended. If the renter wanted to go through Turo, I would have had to pay a $250 deductible, plus the renter would have to pay up to $3,000 in damages because he decided to choose the cheapest coverage. So this resulted in me saving on my deductible, and all that anybody paid out of pocket was a $500 deductible from the renter's pocket, since he did decide to go through his insurance. In the meantime, while the car was getting fixed, I was actually getting offers from car buying companies. I would fill out some information on their website, upload some photos, and they'd come back with me with an offer. They were offering anywhere between $37,000 to $43,000. Mind you, Teslas at this point are going for around $50,000 and up. I figured these companies are in business to make money, so they're probably going to market it up around that price. Luckily, someone told me that there was a company that you can actually counter offer. So I decided to hit him back with a $45,000 counter offer. And after beating up his manager, the offer got accepted. If you're thinking about doing the same, the name of the company is called givemethevin.com. And just as a disclosure, I was not paid by them in any way, or am I working with them. Now, it doesn't end there. I used some sneaky negotiating tactics to get more. I was reading on Reddit threads that people were saying that they were getting more from CarMax, so I went there for an appraisal where they offered $46,000. But I still wanted more, so I sent this offer over to Give Me The VIN to see if I can get that cherry on top, and sure enough, they came back with $46,150, even after stating that they were all in at $45,500. Really? Clearly what they say is the top is never really the top. So I wanted to see if I could juice out an extra $350, but they weren't having it. So I agreed to sell it at $46,150. I'm sure I could have gotten more from dealerships if I drove around and got more offers, since ultimately they ended up buying from wholesalers like Give Me The VIN anyways. But that was going to be way too time consuming, and I was ready to sell the car and get this video up for you guys. Now, to break down the numbers, damn near everything about a Tesla is documented. So I have every single expense that this car incurred. We'll start from the sale amount of $46,150 and then work our way down. Starting off with what we owe on the vehicle, which turned out to be $38,378 with 35 cents, giving us a positive equity check of $7,771 with 65 cents. From that, we can deduct the 6 monthly payments that we made while we owned the car, which were $650.85 every single month, leaving us with a remaining balance of $3,866 with 55 cents. The next biggest expense was a tax, which came out to be $2,622 with 55 cents, which after deducting this leaves a remainder of $1,244. Unfortunately, this did have to be paid up front since the car was financed through Tesla. However, you can avoid this if you get your own loan with your bank or whichever bank you want, and you add the tax amount to the amount of the loan. The 6-month premium for the car insurance came out to be $11.18 with 3 cents, which now would actually be cut in half since we have Tesla insurance here in Texas. This leaves a remaining balance of $125 with 97 cents. The registration and fees for the vehicle came out to a total of $244 with 75 cents, bringing our balance down to a negative value of $118 with 78 cents. Some states do have an electric vehicle fee that you do have to pay since you don't buy gas, which is usually where that fee is included into. So it's just something to take into consideration. Charging the vehicle for a total of 6 months cost a whopping $245 with 66 cents. And yes, that is way cheaper than gas, especially right now. This brings our negative balance down to $364 with 44 cents. And last but not least, the last expense was something that was unexpected, but we're gonna go ahead and add it anyways because it was an expense that we incurred. And that is that we got a flat on one of the tires, which had to be completely replaced. The total repair cost of this came out to $311 with 1 cent, bringing our total negative balance down to $675 with 45 cents. When we add in the Turo earnings of $850, our final profit for the vehicle comes out to $174 with 55 cents. Now, although the profits aren't through the roof, we did get paid to drive a Tesla for the past 6 months. It's not really something you could do with an average car, even with a lower monthly payment. Did I get lucky? Possibly, due to the current market conditions such as delay in supply chains, low supply of new cars, which is raising the price of used cars, the rising demand for Teslas, the 4,000 markup that they just did on their Model 3s, Teslas already being worth more used than new, and also the over-the-air updates they receive. You might call that luck, but I consider it a smart buying decision. After all, it was predictable that the economy could head in this direction. I honestly feel that this current situation going on in the world is making people get more creative and really making anything possible. There's a program called Exotic Car Hacks, which teaches teaches you how to drive luxurious vehicles for a profit, either break even or as much as you're paying for your current average car right now. They were nice enough to work with me in this video and give you guys 75% off if you use my code Randy, or you can also click on the link at the top of the description below, which I would greatly appreciate if you guys do if you end up purchasing, because that does help out this channel and I'm giving you guys all this information literally for free. Anyways, the Tesla would have profited more if I were to start sooner from the date that I purchased the vehicle. Remember in my last video when I said that you want to make a smart decision with the plan that you use, and I wish that I would have gone with a different plan? Well, what I was referring to was a 60% plan, because although you keep less and that would slightly alter our Turo earnings, there would be no deductible whatsoever. Additionally, Turo will reimburse you up to $50 per day for 10 days max, totaling up to $500. If the car is completely totaled, then they would just hand you a check for $500. You can also choose to get a replacement vehicle at that rate. It's convenient in situations like this where the car is in an accident. That way you're not losing out completely on all the rental money you can be possibly making on this vehicle. Now take this with a grain of salt, because I myself have not gone through the Turo claims process, so I'm not exactly sure how long they take. Obviously anything longer than 10 days starts to become less beneficial. And also know that the 75% plans offers something similar. However, they only give you up to $30 per day, which if you decide to go through it, it kind of doesn't make sense, because you're going to be paying a $250 deductible anyways, and you only get 30 days up to 10 days max, so that's 300 minus 250. You really only end up keeping $50. And now, since this video is slowly transitioning into the tips and tricks, why don't I start with owning a second car? Ideally, you want this to be something that's paid off or something that you can buy in cash. That way you don't have to have additional monthly payments. It's honestly going to save you when your car's in the shop getting repairs, or even when your car's getting rented out. That way you have some other form of transportation. You could go through the Uber route, you could go to public transportation. There's many other probably viable routes. However, that is going to eat into your earnings. So what I did was I bought a really cheap car that really can't depreciate much more, such as a Toyota Corolla or a Toyota Camry. And when I go to sell it, it really wouldn't have cost me much. At this rate, the gas is probably gonna cost me more than the car. If you're more advanced and you have a fleet, then ideally you're gonna want all your vehicles to be rented out. However, this isn't always gonna be the case, so you're gonna have another vehicle to drive. Another tip is that you can rent out more than just cars and trucks. I believe I've seen people rent out vans, Sprinters, and other cars like the Polaris Slingshot, which I don't even know what category that fits into. I would also look into owning a private rental business outside of Turo if this is a business that you wanna pursue. It might be difficult to start, such as knowing what cars to get, where to get them, how to insure them, etc. But once you get past that and you get plugged into the game, I'm pretty sure it becomes a breeze. I've seen a lot of people that own car rental businesses and they're doing pretty well for themselves. Now here's a trick I plan on doing before proceeding with selling the Tesla, and that is to rent out your vehicle with either your business logo, business ad, or business phone number, or business whatever on your car if you have one. Now I must disclose I haven't tried it myself, so I don't know how exactly it would work and if it would get even rented out. So you don't think I'm lying, here's the vinyl for my girlfriend's business that we were gonna put on the Tesla. It's actually supposed to look, well, I guess I'll just show you what it looks like here, and then I'll show you what it's supposed to look like on the vehicle. Obviously blocking off her number. No trying to call my girl. The cost of that was $250, and that's without installation. I would have just installed it myself. The car would also have to be listed cheaper than usual. That way it has a higher chance of getting rented out. The concept is to get paid for other renters driving your vehicle, all while bringing more business to your company. Now this isn't a tip or a trick, but instead it's something to note. And that is that Hertz just recently purchased so unnecessary. I might be kind of salty because I can't do that with the Tesla. Anyway, something to note is that Hertz just purchased 1,000 Teslas to add to their rental fleet. What does that mean? That they're not gonna get that order anytime soon. Got him! On a serious note, you can see it as a sign of competition and run away, or you can see it as a sign to buy a Tesla. I can't give you financial advice, so you do as you please. Something else that I noticed is that there's a lot of demand on Turo already. However, when I ask people that I know if they've heard of it or if they've ever used it, the majority of them are actually unfamiliar with it. This means that there's still room for the platform to grow and that there is more demand to come to the peer-to-peer car rentals. I could go over the pros and cons of renting out your personal vehicle, but I think you probably have a good idea after watching these two videos. Now the last and final question is, would I continue? It's definitely a more time-consuming business, which you can put your twist to it, such as one way that I've learned is renting out the car until the car is paid off and then sell it, and ultimately where you make your money is on the sale of the vehicle. My definite answer is yes, I would continue this business if I didn't just recently find a more lucrative way of making money with higher return on investments. To find out what these are, smash that thumbs up button and like this video, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out when I drop those more lucrative ways of making money. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.